afternoon and welcome to St. Newsfile. I'm Reese Tenhove. Kara Guevara will have a look at all the latest sports highlights later in the show. Kara, what can we expect?
Well, Reese, we have a rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl, so that should be pretty exciting. And we have some reactions about the Dylan Dubé sexual assault case.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing those stories. Kevin Kratz is outside getting some sun. How's it looking out there, Kevin?
Yeah, Reese, it's definitely nice and sunny, but don't let that fool you. It is still a bit nippy, and I'm glad for many reasons that it's not 1893, because the record low was minus 44, and so that was not fun to be in, I'm sure. But in terms of the high today, it's 9. The record high was 14 in multiple years, but we're looking at much better than last year, which was minus 6. I'll be joining you guys in the studio in just a moment.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll see you soon. Now, let's take a look at today's top stories. Exactly 2 weeks after Calgary's single-use item bylaw took effect, it's being cancelled. The bylaw faced lots of backlash, and now City Council has given in. Kate Stokely reports.
The single-use item bylaw was approved on January 16th after a 10-4 vote by City Council. The bylaw included a 15-cent fee for paper bags and a $1 fee for reusable bags. Consumers also had to ask for napkins and forks and other single-use items. Now, exactly 14 days after the approval, the bylaw has been repealed after a lot of negative public reaction.
It's a good initiative, but I feel like it could have been reviewed better, and there could have been steps to avoid an extra charge, but also at the same time to take that environmental step forward.
Fast food joints faced a lot of backlash the past 2 weeks, having to hand out food items with no bag or getting customers to pay the extra for bags. For restaurants and bars, regular customers accepted it, but it was a struggle convincing new customers.
You know, it's not going to be till May till they actually rescind the whole thing, if they do. You know, it's we kind of pick our battles of, you know, newer customers and regulars. And
while City Council has reversed the bylaw, it will still take several months until the legal paperwork is done. Until May, consumers will still have to pay. Some stores have already stopped charging for bags only a day after the repeal. Out of the 3 stores that I went to, only one of them asked and charged for a bag. For St. Newsfile, I'm Kate Stokely.
Calgary City Council has decided there will be no property tax rebate this year. The decision was made yesterday night when councillors asked administration not to find $23 million in budget cuts that would lead to a one-time rebate for homeowners. In the original proposal, the money would be returned to the residential properties to offset the 7.8% tax increase. This would lead to about $4 of savings for the average homeowner. The motion needed 10 votes to pass, but was defeated 8-7. Many state students are looking forward to the redevelopment of the recently accounted campus center. Now we're getting our first look at how the new building will look. Bree Boucher joins us from the site of the new campus center. Bree, how do students feel about the plans?
On Monday, SATSA unveiled what the new campus center will look like. The new plan is expected to have a wellness center, facilities for all the Trojans teams, event spaces, a campus pub, and much more. Last spring, the student center was torn down and plans for the redevelopment were set in place.
An all-encompassing athletic approach, and that is a new wellness and fitness center, facilities for all the Trojans teams. There's going to be event spaces, SATSA operations offices, campus pub, and then lots of student spaces are planned for that building as well.
Students who are currently attending SATE while the redevelopment is in the works say the plans are upsetting as they don't have a facility where they can engage with other students like alumni did.
It's really upsetting. When I first started at SATE, it was still there. The building was still there, and I was super pumped at the idea that I'd get to use it. And then they closed it a month after I started, and so it sucks. It's really upsetting, especially since you come to school to learn and be educated, but a huge part of that is also the social aspect. And so there's no place on campus for us to really do that anymore.
Construction for SAIT's Campus Center redevelopment plan is set to be completed in 2025 in a multi-year project.
On Monday, SAIT released images of what the new building is supposed to look like to the website for the public to see. However, construction is not supposed to be completed until 2025. Back to you, Reese.
Thanks, Bree. That was Bree Boucher reporting live from the site of SAIT's new campus center. Calgarians took their first look at the city's latest rezoning plans. The city unveiled their ideas last night with the priority of creating more high-density housing in communities that contain exclusively single-family homes. The goal is to give Calgarians more housing options. However, some expressed concern over how this will change the look and feel of the selected neighborhoods. The city will be offering more in-person viewing sessions in February, with the public's feedback getting presented to City Council in March. In newly released numbers, Canada's overall vacancy rate has reached a new low of 1.5%. The Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation released their rental market report, also stating that rental prices had grown 8% in 2023, leading to the highly competitive rental conditions we're seeing across the country. On average, renters are paying almost $1,400 a month, a spike that has outpaced both inflation and wages. The report says that higher mortgage rates are keeping potential homeowners out of ownership and in the rental market. You might call it a heat wave for the end of July. The warm weather has Calgarians getting out of their homes and offices and enjoying the outdoors. Elisa La has more.
Calgary has set a new record high of 15 degrees in January on Tuesday. With warm weather, many Calgary residents are rushing to get their cars washed after extreme cold weather. However, some people prefer to wait for dry weather before washing their cars.
No, I don't. Usually just because the car gets so messy when it's so wet suddenly like this. So I usually wait a little bit, and then if it gets dry, I might go and wash it.
On the other hand, there are many people who enjoy the pleasant weather by spending time in the park, walking their dogs, and even taking their toddlers out for a walk. Some seniors have shared that they enjoy walking with their siblings and then stopping at a coffee shop.
I just did not enjoy the 3 weeks of very cold weather, but no, we get out as much as we can, and we can layer, bundle up, and now that the sun is a little higher and things are a bit more light, it's great.
Another person mentions that walking not only allows you to enjoy the surroundings, but also helps improve your health.
When we were younger, we were joggers, not anymore, and now we're walkers. And I think, walking is good for the mind, good for the body, good for the health, good for the mental health. Yeah, we enjoy it very much.
Many Calgarians are enjoying warm weather so far, as well as a rising temperature. However, there are still a lot of icy roads like I'm walking right here. Some authority advise that pay extra careful wherever you guys walk. For State Newsfile, I'm Elisa La.
While some organizations in Alberta are struggling to find employees, that's apparently not the case here at SAIT. SAIT has been named as one of the top 80 employers in the province for the 14th time out of 15 years. Matthew Baxter reports.
SAIT has been named one of Alberta's top 80 employers for 2024. With SAIT employing over 2,000 people, comes as no surprise to SAIT's Associate Vice President of Employee Services, Greg Giuliano.
We want the folks that are here as our employees to feel it, to feel that they are really valued as employees. But the award actually gives us that tool for recruitment and retention to help make sure that we do have the best people here.
But SAIT executives aren't the only ones happy about the award, as SAIT instructor Richard Stroban comments.
I think the really cool thing about SAIT is that there are so many different variety of jobs as not just an instructor, but behind the scenes as well, that there are so many different careers. Somebody told me once that you can kind of move around into different areas and help SAIT in so many different areas that you can kind of mold the career the way you want it to be.
When it comes to judging employers, the contest was based off a few categories, including skills, training, vacation time, and community involvement, and also atmosphere. So what should employers look for when it comes to looking for a good workplace?
One of the common things that we see across time, across the ebbs and flows of the industry, is respect. People want to be respected where they work. They want to be acknowledged for the work that they do, and they want to be able to enjoy going into work every day.
This is the 14th time in 15 years that SAIT has been mentioned among the top 80 employers in Alberta. Hopefully they will continue to be a good place to work for years to come. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Matthew Baxter.
A legendary event is coming to SAIT on February 6th. Power 103 is rebranding its name as a tribute to the band Kiss, who performed at SAIT on February 6, 1974. Carlene Sorensen reports.
SAIT's very own radio station, Edge 103, will soon celebrate a musical milestone. 50 years ago, the legendary band Kiss held its second concert ever right here on campus. But according to those who were involved, it was not an easy task to get the concert to be a go.
And by the way, Kiss doesn't want to have a lot of advertising. They just want to just show up, do this concert, and so we were confused. I mean, we spent all this effort trying to get, with Columbia, whatever records.
Kiss may be a legend in the rock world today, but they were brand new to the scene in 1974, and SAIT is marking the anniversary on the radio. Our very own Edge 103 is having a big event coming up on February 6th. In 1974, the one and only Kiss actually played their second concert right here on SAIT campus. So February 6th, they are changing the name for one day only to Kiss 103 and rocking out with the legend itself all day. So make sure you tune in. The radio students have been working very hard to make this Kiss Day an exciting tribute to the band.
Whole bunch of work's gone into it. We're kind of just wrapping that all up now. I know everyone's really excited for it, and we got some folks coming back next week that are being thrown right into the fire, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Gonna play all Kiss all day.
So make sure to tune in to Kiss 103 on February 6th to rock out with the legends. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Carlene Sorensen.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, Kevin Kratz has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Toastmasters International is hosting the SAIT Sayers Open House at the Stan Grad Center for students wanting to better their public speaking. The meeting starts at 6:30 and refreshments are provided. The U17 Flames Community Night is tomorrow against the Airdrie Avalanche at 6:15 on Winsport Rink A. YYC Hot Chocolate Fest is serving cups of delightful chocolatey goodness. Locations can be found on yychhotchocolate.com. The event is for the entire month of February, and $1 to $3 from every cup sold goes to support Calgary Meals on Wheels. The Chinese New Year Festival is free for all ages from February 3rd to 11th at the Calgary Chinese Cultural Center. Families are free to take to the ice at the Olympic Plaza this Sunday for the Chinook Slide. There will be several guest appearances from many different athletes from hockey, curling, football, lacrosse, and more.
What do you think of when you hear the word home? A place to rest, a place to play, a place for friends and family to gather. There are people in the city who unfortunately don't have that. They only have a house. WINS wants to change that. Donate household items to the House to Home program and help make a house a home again. It's only when you have homes that you have a community.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Hi, welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Kevin Kratz, and if you're wondering what the weather is like around, well, I'll show you. As we start in the western part of Canada, we're seeing some light showers in the Pacific Northwest in that Vancouver area, as there is a storm kind of pushing up along the coast. As we go to the prairies, though, we're seeing a lot more kind of even temperatures. Still plenty of snow on the ground, but just kind of peaking above the freezing temperature, but a bit of sun as you go further and further towards Saskatchewan and Manitoba. As we go to the eastern side of Canada, we're seeing it being a little bit colder as the temperatures swoop below freezing. But we do have plenty of sun in Toronto and Halifax. I'm sure my brother who lives in Halifax is going to love that sun, but it is -5. That's pretty chilly, but you know, they are going to be a little cold. But we're going to blaze down south to check out the lovely temperatures at our resorts. Some conditions down south look more favorable than others. Palm Springs has a flood warning from a strong Pacific storm. Barbados is at a steamy 29. Cancun and Honolulu have similar partly cloudy conditions, but Cancun's a little toastier. Orlando will be humid with some sun at 17, and Vegas is a breezy 8 degrees. As we look at Calgary today, currently 7 degrees, and it's mostly cloudy. Clouds building up throughout the day, very steadily though. The wind has been shifty, but it's currently 13 kilometers an hour, and it will remain steady at that speed. As we take a look at our province here, and apparently Medicine Hat and Lethbridge decided that they'll hog all that double-digit sunny weather. Very jealous of that. But it's not too bad as we move a little north with the central part of the province with a lot of clouds, but the temperatures above zero for now. So it's going to get cold, a little colder as the days move on, and so be careful on the roads. There's still a bit of slush and ice, so always be careful. But we'll take a look at the 5-day forecast as we're looking at a lot of clouds throughout the week, but it will get to that snow on Sunday. Carol Guevara will have the sports after the break.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that helped me live a better life and build a better future. Now I can finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to St. Newsfile. Kara Guevara joins us now for a look at the latest highlights. Kara, what can we expect?
Well, Reese, like I said before, we're going to get some reactions when it comes to the Dylan Dubé case, and we're going to see a 2020 rematch of the Super Bowl. On January 30th, it was released that Flames forward Dylan Dubé and 4 other players were charged with sexual assault related to an alleged incident that occurred during a Hockey Canada event in 2018. Simon Chaskovsky has some reactions.
Back on January 21st, the Flames forward requested a mental health leave. Dubé's choice to step away at the time was supported by many, but wouldn't last long, as not long after, 4 of his former teammates from the World Juniors back in 2018 would quickly take leaves of absences, and the general public quickly became suspicious. Their suspicions were later proven right when all 5 players were called back to London to surrender to police for sexual assault charges. Backlash would quickly build against the Calgary Flames.
While it appears that we won't be getting a lot of new information, at least not for the next little while, that hasn't stopped many Calgarians from forming their own opinions.
Handling it, I think, maybe the best way they can. They did put out a release saying they didn't know, they're not going to talk any further because it is legal stuff and that's not them. But could they handle it a bit better? better maybe.
There are both sides to it. It's either Dylan Dubé told them that he wants a mental health leave of absence, or it is something the lawyers forced Dylan Dubé to tell to the team. So we won't know until the interviews are done, all the trials are done.
London police will hold a press conference on February 5th, but as of right now, it is currently not expected that we will be getting any more information prior to that. So until then, Calgarians will just have to wait and see what happens to the former first-round pick. For State Newsfile, I'm Simon Shaskovsky.
The Flames will be playing the Bruins on Tuesday at the TD Garden in Boston, with a puck drop being at 5 p.m. The Flames game last night was on Saturday against the Blackhawks at the Saddledome, where they managed to break their four-game losing streak with 3-0 victory. On the other hand, the Blackhawks pretty much knew they were not doing good, as they're tied for the last in the league and haven't won a road game in almost 3 months. Two Albertan athletes, figure skaters Annika Bank and Cole Suave, will be the closing ceremony flag bearers at the Winter Youth Olympic Games. The athletes finished first in the Paris event and are the very first Canadian figure skaters to win gold at the competition, despite the rocky start of their performance. Their performance won them the historic gold medal in South Korea. They will compete in the team event on Thursday, the 24th, before the closing ceremony in the evening. It looks like we're seeing a rematch of the 2020 Super Bowl, as the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers are going to head once again for the Super Bowl title this year. The Chiefs won against the Ravens, while the Ravens won against the 49ers, and the Lions won against Sunday, leaving both teams toe-to-toe Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. So far in the Super Bowl history, then the underdog has covered the spread 47% of the time, and fans will be at the edge of their seats next Sunday. U Sports has announced the 8 best student athletes from universities across Canada. Those selected were named the top 8 academic All-Canadians for the 2022-2023 season. Selected were chosen out of the long list of students that was almost 5,000 students long, who achieved the All-Canadian status during the season. The academic All-Canadian status can be achieved by student athletes by maintaining an 80% average or more over the academic year, while playing one or more university teams that participate in U Sports. To congratulate and honor these students, athletes, they will be given the Governor Medals for the academic excellence in Ottawa later today. Russia has been disqualified from the 2022 Beijing Olympics due to a doping case, but Team Canada will remain off the podium in 4th place. Russia's gold medal will be taken away after the verdict from the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Valieva, the 15-year-old Russian figure skater, tested positive for a banned heart medicine, but was not notified until February 7th due to staffing issues from the lab in Sweden. She was later cleared of any blame, citing that she was a minor, and she was banned for 4 years. Hockey is basically the only team sport where physical contact is allowed if somebody rubs you the wrong way. But from the looks of it, from a survey conducted by Bro Bible, Nick Cousins has been rubbing 28.57% of players the wrong way. The survey asked players to pick someone whose face they would want to punch out of many other players. While it's not the nicest part of the survey, there were some compliments given out. Connor McDavid was named the best player in the league. Andrei Vasilevsky was called the most talented goaltender. And when it comes to referee reputation, Wes McCauley was the most loved in the league. Troy Deeney, the manager for the Forest Green Rovers, has been given a 4-match touchline ban. The former striker for Watford was also fined €1,500 after 2 Football Association charges convicting him of improper abuse, insulting and threatening language behavior. Deeney was dismissed in some stages after Forest Green lost 2-1, game 2-1. In one of the remarks he made, he threatened to punch a referee, called him names. And though he did take accountability and apologized, Deeney said his words were taken out of context as aggressive, and those were not his intentions. After the confirmation of this FA ban and fine, he was dismissed from his position as head coach. And that's a look at sports.
Well, thank you very much for that, Caro. Next up, we'll be talking about the perks of adding a furry friend to your household. But we'll take a look at that. After the break.
What do you think of when you hear the word home? A place to rest, a place to play, a place for friends and family to gather. There are people in the city who unfortunately don't have that. They only have a house. WINS wants to change that. Donate household items to the House to Home program and help make a house a home again. It's only when you have homes that you have a community.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Many people adopt pets for companionship and the mental health benefits of having a furry friend. But for those animals, adoption is much more. Crystal Kennedy has more in the story.
Deciding to adopt animals can be challenging on its own, whether it's the perfect timing or wanting that companionship. Rolo, Bella, Mara, and Hank are a few friends with something to share.
I rescued Hank when he was 4 months old at the end of July in 2022. I rescued him from ARCS, which is Alberta Animal Rescue Crew Society. I knew I wanted to rescue. That was a non-negotiable. There's so many wonderful organizations in Calgary and surrounding areas. Adopt, don't shop, even if it's a dog, critter, cat, anything.
Adoption doesn't have to come from a shelter. A furry companion can come into your life unexpectedly in the best way possible.
In 2019, had a family friend who lives on a farm and had some barn cats that had kittens, and so we were able to go and pick Rolo and actually his sister up at the same time.
Bella was brought to the Humane Society in February of 2023, but she was found in February hiding under a truck, so it was freezing. So Bella doesn't have any back toes, and the majority of her tail had to be amputated. The biggest thing was, I would say, especially with something like a cat, is they can live upwards of 15 years. So if you're going to make that decision to bring an animal into your life, you have to understand that that's a long-term commitment.
As we conclude this heartwarming journey through the world of adoption, remember that there are animal companions waiting for a chance to be part of your story. Let's continue to make a difference, one adoption at a time. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Crystal Kennedy.
Nice story. I think I can speak for all of us when I say I love seeing cats.
Who doesn't?
Well, and I know, Kevin, you have some of your own cats.
Oh yeah, they are a bunch of fun, and plenty of scratches along the way after the last few years. And well, we let Luna out once, and now she always wants to go out, especially when the weather is nice. As we look at the 5-day forecast, so I mean, a bit cloudy, so it's not the best, but it is high enough of a temperature. But we will see that snow. So maybe when the weekend hits, when that Sunday hits, will not be the best time to take any pets out for a walk, except maybe a husky. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll keep your dogs out, maybe not the cats. Keep them inside.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for SAIT Newsfile. Have a good rest of your night.